Hello, I am Adam Havrilla and I would like to welcome you to this month's Flowers What's Next video. It is all about creating this really cool floral edible centerpiece for your next event. Let's prep all of our items to begin with. So first we're going to have is our terracotta dish. That is going to be the base, and floral foam that's going to go inside of this. What we're going to want to do is soak the floral foam. I'm using the vase of water just to show you how it should be done, but you could float this in your sink or in a bowl. You always just want to let it go down on its own. Floral foam will come in different colors. It'll come in different shades of green. This is the midnight foam that is black when it's soaked. While the foam is soaking, let's prep our container. These terracotta pots often have a hole in it, and even if it doesn't, we want to line the inside, and I'm going to use a plastic garbage bag. The reason we line them is that terracotta will seep that water from the arrangement and leave a wet spot on your counter or on your table. So by lining it with a plastic garbage bag, it'll prevent the water from getting through. Once the bag's in, I go in and we're going to cut the excess off. And again, this will prevent it from seeping through. You will not get water everywhere in your home or wherever you put this. So just an easy line. You could certainly use a bowl if you have one that fits, but I used the plastic bag. As you can see, it's slowly going down and the color is changing. The reason we do that, we just don't pour water over the top, is because once you pour water over the top, the middle will never get moisture in it, and then our flowers will die. So we want to make sure we have that. All right, our foam is now soaked and it is very heavy. So next we're going to do is we want to cut it to fit inside of here. I use a serrated knife. Here's a bread knife that I use. It just cuts through so evenly. We're going to take our foam, put it right inside, and then we're going to take some more pieces from the same brick. And this foam you can get at the store, you can get it at a craft store. It comes in many, many locations, so there's no reason for you not to have it. And again, we're making sure that the plastic bag is perfectly lining this so the pieces don't fall away. And I just go in and cut the pieces and put it around. So then you have the foam. It's all one level. That's super important. And it's a little bit below the base of the container. So now that we have the foam in there, what we're going to do is take a piece of plastic wrap, put it over the top, and just put it in, and then you can trim around it to make sure that this fits pretty evenly. You can still stick the flowers through the plastic wrap, but the reason we put the plastic wrap on is because when we use our moss, you can use reindeer moss, this is sheet moss. When we use the moss, it's a natural material, so it'll soak up the water, and what the plastic wrap does is it creates a little barrier there. So then we can just go in and we can put the moss right in. And then it looks like our pot has moss and you don't see any of the things inside. Beautifully done. Helpful hint, you are going to want to water your arrangement, so just when you water it, just pick this up from the corner and take the plastic wrap up and just pour the water inside there. But for our purposes, completely covered, and our container is now ready to go. Now that we have our container, I've already separated our gorgeous pink and lavender bouquet for this month. We're going to start putting the flowers in. Remembering that we need to create negative space for all that fruit and little donut holes to go in. So we're going to start with this beautiful campanula, and we're going to push it right through. And that's going to go vertical up. So this is going to be the max height we're going to create when we do our design. Next, our beautiful roses. How beautiful are these pink roses? So we have a rose there, and let's do another rose on this side. Making sure we push through the moss as well as that plastic barrier into the foam, and as you can see, they're standing perfectly, not a problem. Next, our Ostromeria. We're going to push that in. And do you see now how much space we're leaving in between the stems? There's so much space for what's going to be our finishing part. Usually I know we don't leave that much space, but I promise you it's going to pay off in the end. Next, let's take our pink carnations. And if you get a little moss on the counter, you just clean that up. Not a problem at all. And do you see how, from the top view, how much space we have around everything? Isn't that kind of interesting and cool? By using the floral foam, it gives us so much more design maneuverability. We can place the flowers exactly where we want them. So I do love some floral foam. Next, we're going to take the gerberas. I'm going to take the straw off. I don't love the way the straw looks in the finished design. See the gerbera there. And we're going to do one opposite because we always, like everything else, we want to balance the colors. And do you notice how the gerbera is facing up in this design? You want the heads to face up. If it was facing like this, it would look away. We want to keep the flower heads going up into the design. Next, I'm going to take our ruscus. We're going to cut this in little pieces. And we're just going to place this around. I think it's a beautiful color with the terracotta, very coordinates, it's gardeny, it just feels fresh and lovely. We're going to do that with both pieces. One can go in the center. And we want to make sure that we can still see this green moss or whatever color moss you use. We want to see that beautiful natural color of that. And now we're going to take, aren't those beautiful? I love these. We're going to cut these and we're going to put them here. There's one there. We're going to do one of them opposite, these beautiful cushion lavenders. So from a design standpoint, we still want to keep that dome, and as I'm looking at it, do you notice how far out this rose looks? It's just a little bit too far out, so let's just bring that and bring that back in a little bit. Because that way we have this gorgeous dome. And actually, by looking at it, I want to alter this. The foam is very forgiving, so that way you can go ahead and move stuff around if need be. All right. Lots of space inside to hold our beautiful next items. And I think this is going to be gorgeous for the party. Now we're going to add in, I put some fruit on skewers already, just some beautiful cantaloupe and honeydew and watermelon. And I also put some donut holes, cinnamon and powdered sugar, just a little bit of everything. And these are going to go into the design. And what we want is we want people to be able to reach into the garden and pull out what they would like to eat. We don't want to have these touching the other flowers. We want to make sure no flower is touching them. We want them to stand out on their own. And if there's a flower touching them, like foliage here, I'm just going to pop that foliage right off. Oops, that came off. Isn't that cute? And then we're going to add some donut holes to it. I think this is a fun way to create an edible centerpiece for your guests. And they can just reach in, help themselves, and you can have some extras that you replenish along the way. By keeping the space in between, it's a little bit more inviting for them to be able to reach in, and encourage your guests to reach in and enjoy a moment. Isn't that fun? I don't know about you, but I love this idea. And we do this often in our home when we have guests over. Create centerpieces that are a little bit more dual function, but there is our beautiful edible and floral centerpiece for this month. I hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to see yours. Remember, like and subscribe, and we will see you next month.